Hello and welcome back to this live. I know that last time we had a bit of a technical issue, so what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually going to pre-record some of this, and that way when I'm ready I can just start and be there all the time for you, but I will be behind the scenes answering questions. So enter anything down below that you wanted to ask, and as I'm going, feel free to send questions or DM me, or even if you've got a random, nothing to do with what we're talking about topic for next week, feel free to drop it in. I'm Amir Meshel, and you probably know that because you're on one of the social media streams that has brought you to here today. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday, and what I'd like to do is talk about Bookkeep Hive. Within Bookkeep Hive, there are a lot of different facets that spring to mind when you're kind of considering who needs this, who it's for, and why would somebody take time out to spend an hour to an hour and a half watching and listening, what my ideas are, what my experience has been, and why I use accountants, lawyers, and taxation specialists to help me get everything off the ground and stabilized. So what I wanted to cover today, and this is different to what we covered last week, is the mind makeover. I've got a few notes, so I hope you don't mind me looking down and checking every now and then. But the topic for today is mind makeover. Rewire your brain for success, happiness, and lasting memory. The topic combines the most important elements of the best books out there, the best titles out there, while addressing the mental wellness market in a unique and compelling way. I'm hoping to offer readers a comprehensive and practical guide to enhancing their cognitive abilities, emotional well-being, and achieving a high level of overall success in life. Sounds pretty big. Let me get into a few of the components. Key components. Understanding the brain. We will be providing an overview of the brain structure. Obviously not just today, but in the content that I'm producing that I'm hoping you'll be able to use and will be of benefit to you. Providing an overview of the brain structure, function, and neuroplasticity. This would help build a strong foundation for understanding how the brain can be rewired for success and mental wellness. The science of memory. This section is going to delve into the mechanics of memory, covering various types of memory, the process of memory formation, and the factors that affect memory retention and recall. Cognitive enhancement techniques. Drawing on the most effective strategies, this section will provide the practical methods for improving focus, attention, and problem-solving skills and learning capacity. Emotional intelligence and mental wellness. I'm going to cover the importance of emotional intelligence in achieving success and happiness. I will provide actionable advice on developing empathy, managing emotions, and cultivating a positive mindset. If you've been thinking that AI is going to take over the world, it probably will, but until we can get our own EQ, our own emotional quotient into the correct stage, then it's going to be impossible for us to teach a robot to do what we can do, especially if we can't do. Creating lasting habits. I'm going to focus on habit formation, providing an evidence-based technique for creating and maintaining habits that support cognitive enhancement and mental well-being. Applied strategies for real-life success. The final section is going to apply the learned techniques to various aspects of life, such as career, relationships, and personal growth. Now, this is going to address the key factors by hopefully a unique way. And I say hopefully because you're never going to be up to date with absolutely every enhancement, every advance that happens on a minute-by-minute, second-to-second basis. What I'm aiming for is an attention-grabbing title of Mind Makeover. It's eye-catching, it immediately communicates the transformational promise. The subtitle is Rewire Your Brain for Success, Happiness, and Lasting Memory. And I do that because it really clearly outlines the key benefits to readers that you can actually expect to get from this learning. It appeals to the desire of personal growth and self-improvement. The combination of cognitive enhancement, emotional intelligence, and real-life success strategies ensures that I keep this relevant and valuable to a wide range of readers. The evidence-based side is, well, incorporating the most effective techniques from best-selling authors to the latest scientific research to also interviews that we're going to host onto this group. I'm hoping that by the end of today, you'll see that you can be provided with a comprehensive and authoritative guide to mental wellness and cognitive enhancement. Who is this for? Who I'm really speaking to is an individual seeking to improve memory, focus, and cognitive abilities. So we're saying who is this for? And I'm really aiming this towards individuals seeking to improve memory, focus, and cognitive abilities, lifelong learners and self-educators, and people experiencing cognitive decline or brain fog. The patterns and similarities that I'm drawing on are focus on brain optimization, memory and learning, practical strategies, tips and exercises, and personal transformation and unlocking potential. The underlying principles are neuroscience, cognitive psychology, and learning theories. Importantly, I've come up with a system called VACADOG. And VACADOG is something I'm going to go through with next Monday's live session. So this week is the overall summary of the how and the why. Next week I'm going to uncover something that is specific. It's VACADOG. So remember that. This week we're going to cover just the overarching principles of neuroscience, cognitive psychology, and learning theories. The importance of mental wellness and cognitive performance, the idea that cognitive abilities can be trained and improved, and I'm going to cover the problems, the identified challenges that this can really solve, that this can help. One is difficulty in retaining information, focusing and learning new skills, just like memorizing a 1-hour speech. Cognitive decline and memory loss with age. Overwhelmed by information and distractions, especially in the digital age. The proposed solution I'm going to cover today is a comprehensive program that integrates various learning strategies, brain exercises, and mental wellness techniques. I'm unfolding an easy-to-follow step-by-step guidance for subscribers and people that tune into this group and become contributing members to unlock the cognitive potential. We'll add some real-life case studies and examples to inspire and motivate you. Think about this as the title. Revolutionize your mind, master your memory, and thrive in the information age. It would be a holistic approach combining neuroscience, psychology, and personal development. Customizable program to fit individual needs and learning preferences. And I'll focus on both short-term and long-term cognitive improvements. I'd like to use this strategy, this forum, to conduct market research. And this is why I would love you to put your comments down below, ask questions, and contribute. Because as much as I like hearing my own voice, and if you've seen me up on stage a few times, you probably recognize that I could speak for 3 or 4 days continuously and just ask myself questions and answer them again. But more importantly, if you can help me in conducting market research to assess the demand and the interest in this type of work and this type of concept, please put your comments down below and let me know what you think, what stage you're up to, and if you feel that this could apply to you. I'd love to also interview the people that are interested and the people that have put comments down below, that if we could do a Zoom, a one-on-one, a question and answer, to gather feedback and really to refine this idea. and also to develop a detailed proposal with an outline incorporating the analysis and the feedback that I've gathered. And eventually, I'd like to reach out to the people that would love to have me on the stage to speak at one of the conferences, as well as industry experts to ask for more feedback, but potentially find a collaboration with somebody who's like-minded or would like to explore this topic on their stage and with their readership. If we can test cover designs, slogans, and marketing material with the right target audience to make sure that the message resonates, that would mean a lot to me. Because it's not enough just to send something out there and hope for the best. I think that I've covered this before on Edward Zia Zoom, and just touching on that, straight after this, there is the 8 p.m. Edward Zia webinar. So make sure you tune into that. I'll put the link down below so that you've got the link to the meetup that'll lead you onto the 8 p.m. Edward Zia Zoom. I make sure that I finish 5 minutes before the hour, so I've got time to freshen up before we start the next Zoom. Now, I want to test the marketing materials and cover designs with you. I hope you would help me with that. But also refine the concept and the proposal based on feedback and insights gained from this process. We've touched on the people that I feel this could help, the demographic and the target audience. What I think so far, just from my research, is this would comprise of individuals from individuals from diverse age groups, backgrounds and occupations who aspire, I love that word, aspire to improve cognitive abilities, focus, memory and learning skills. They are predominantly lifelong learners, self-educators and individuals experiencing cognitive decline or brain fog. The demographic profile includes working professionals, students, educators, and older adults concerned about age-related cognitive decline. These individuals are proactive and invested in their personal development and mental well-being, recognizing the importance of mental wellness in overall quality of life. The kind of values these people would have would be personal growth and self-improvement, mental wellness and cognitive health, productivity and efficiency, adaptability and resilience, mindfulness and focus. And you can see that I resonate with a lot of those answers. I've self-taught myself languages, computer languages, human languages, and I probably have about 15 different certificates to say that I've attempted and passed some sort of qualification, whether it be asbestos removal, being a buyer's agent, a few different languages here and there. So it really is something that I aspire to, and I'd like to find some like-minded individuals. Lifestyle. Emphasis on personal development activities, reading, attending seminars, online courses, podcasts, incorporating a mindfulness exercise regime, meditation, yoga, pursuit of hobbies that stimulate cognitive function, puzzles, chess, learning languages, adoption of healthy habits, exercise, balanced diet, sufficient sleep. I've been a little bit guilty of the sufficient sleep recently, and this year I'm focusing on setting my alarm, going to bed on time, waking up on time, and relaxing before I go to bed. So breathing exercises there that I learned from a podcast. Interests: neuroscience and cognitive psychology, brain training and memory techniques, learning theories and strategies, self-help and personal development resources, mindfulness and mental wellness practices. The personality that this will attract are curious and open-minded individuals, self-motivated and disciplined, analytical and detail-oriented, goal-driven and persistent, emotionally intelligent and empathic. Again, you can see why I'm drawn to this type of topic, because the kind of people that would resonate with this are my tribe. These are the people that I relate to because these are the things that I see within myself. Beliefs and attitude. Belief in the potential for cognitive improvement and lifelong learning. Positive attitude towards personal growth and self-improvement. Openness to new ideas, techniques, and strategies. Recognition of the importance of wellness, mental wellness specifically, for overall well-being. Emphasis on the value of focus and attention in the digital age. Motivations. Desire to optimize cognitive abilities for personal and professional success. Interest in overcoming cognitive decline, memory loss, or brain fog. Drive to become a more effective learner and adapt in the information age. Aspiration to achieve mental clarity, focus, and overall mental wellness. Pursuit of mastery in various fields of interest or expertise. So if this sounds like you, and I'm just going to pause here for a sec. If this sounds like you, if you're excited so far about what I've spoken about, put a comment down in the chat. Let me know you're interested and I'll reach out and we can have a one-on-one. Find out, does this make sense? Are we aligned? And is this the kind of learning and lifestyle that attracts you, that you're interested in? Now there's a few questions that come to mind. How can I improve my focus and attention in an increasingly distracting world? I watched a movie probably 10 years, maybe 12 years ago, called Circuit City. It talked about working from a cafe, taking a laptop and having the laptop culture. This was 12 years ago, well before the pivot stage of 2 years ago. It was based in New York and really talked about not being transactional, but being connected. Not being locked into an office, but being socially aware. Not being focused on making money, but being focused on making a change. It was around a 25-minute short film, but really made a massive impact on me. So how can I improve my focus and attention in an increasingly distracting world? What are the most effective techniques to enhance memory and learning abilities? Can I still improve my cognitive skills even if I've struggled in the past? Great question. I know a lot of us have tried something that didn't work and maybe we were puzzled, but I found that if I try a few different ways, some of them resonate with me because my learning style more than the other ones resonate with me. And I think part of that is the Vacadog that we're going to talk about next week on 7 p.m. live next Monday. Can I still improve even if I've struggled in the past? How can I overcome cognitive decline or brain fog related to aging or stress? A lot of people forget about stress. Stress is a real massive contributor to not being able to lock things into short-term, medium-term, and long-term memory. When you have those stressful events, some of those things are like a flashbulb moment. You're really locked in. That memory is always going to be there. And at other times, that you can't remember how you got to the spot. You can't remember getting home afterwards. You've got this little photo, a still photo, rather than a video of what happened and how did you get there and how it all came about. So stress is a lot to do with that. How can I overcome cognitive decline or brain fog related to aging or stress? What are the best strategies for mastering new skills and retaining information? Here are a few of the problems that I've uncovered in my research, and please let me know in the comments if these resonate to you. Difficulty staying focused on tasks or maintaining concentration. Did you know that recently a lot more people, and when I say recently I mean in the year 2023, a lot more people are either self-diagnosing or medically diagnosing as having ADHD, suffering from ADD, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. There's a lot of things that have been researched. I hate using things. There's a lot of research that has gone into ADD, how to work with it, how to solve it, both from a chemical point of view, to a habit point of view, to an app point of view. I hope that you're interested in getting to the improvement stage rather than just seeing the problem. But I'm just going to cover some of the problems as challenges now, and please understand that I'm in the solution finding stage, not in the here's a problem, let's talk about it stage. So difficulty staying focused on tasks and maintaining concentration. Struggling with memory retention and recalling important information. I'm not just talking about your tax file number, I'm talking about When you need to be somewhere and you realize 5 minutes after you were meant to be there, what was that niggling feeling in your gut or in your head that said, I think there was something that I'm forgetting. Isn't there somewhere where I'm meant to be? Limited success in learning new skills or concepts, especially in challenging subjects. Experiencing brain fog, fatigue, or cognitive decline. Inefficient or ineffective learning strategies and habits. What are the fears surrounding this topic? Cognitive decline due to aging, stress, or other factors. The inability to keep up with the demands of the information age. Loss of professional or personal opportunities due to limited cognitive abilities. Struggling to adapt to new situations or learn new skills. Long-term negative impact on mental health and overall quality of life. The frustrations. Feeling overwhelmed by the amount of information to process and retain. Lack of noticeable progress in cognitive abilities despite efforts. Difficulty finding reliable and effective resources or strategies for self-improvement. The inability to break through mental barriers and achieve desired goals. Struggling with consistency and motivation in implementing cognitive enhancement practices. What are the challenges? The challenges are identifying and implementing the most effective cognitive enhancement techniques, overcoming external distractions and internal mental barriers, balancing cognitive improvement efforts with personal, professional, and social obligations, adapting to different learning styles and preferences. Again, Vakadog. We'll speak about Vakadog next Monday at 7 p.m, so tune in. Maintaining motivation and discipline to pursue long-term cognitive development goals. Effective strategies and techniques to improve focus and attention. Some of the needs that we have are tools to enhance memory retention and recall. Practical methods for optimizing learning and skill acquisition. Resources to support cognitive health and combat cognitive decline. Reliable information on evidence-based cognitive improvement practices. What do people want? Access to expert guidance and advice on cognitive enhancements. A structured step-by-step approach to improving cognitive abilities. Techniques that can be easily integrated into daily life. A supportive community or network of like-minded individuals pursuing cognitive improvement. Techniques that are applicable to various aspects of life, such as professional, personal, and academic. What are the goals? Achieve a high level of focus, productivity, and mental clarity. Enhance memory and learning capabilities for personal and professional growth. Develop a lifelong habit of continuous learning and cognitive improvement. Overcome cognitive challenges and limitations to achieve success in various areas in life. Maintain cognitive health and function throughout life. The aspirations that I've uncovered. Master new skills or knowledge that contribute to personal and professional development. Become a more effective learner, able to quickly absorb and retain information. Develop a sharp, agile mind that can adapt to new situations and challenges. Be recognized as a high performer in professional or academic settings. Lead a fulfilling, mentally stimulating life with a strong foundation of cognitive abilities. What are the desires I've uncovered? The desire to experience a sense of accomplishment and progress in cognitive improvement efforts. Unlock hidden potential for learning and cognitive performance. Feel more confident in personal and professional situations due to enhanced cognitive abilities. Enjoy a greater sense of well-being and mental resilience through improved cognitive function. Share the benefits of cognitive enhancements with others, inspiring and supporting their journeys. Let's break this down into the jobs to be done. So if you were a target audience, if you were actually wanted the result, if you wanted to go from where you are at the moment to where you want to be, these are the jobs that need to be done. Number 1, improve focus and attention. What triggers the need for improved focus and attention? struggling to complete tasks effectively, difficulty concentrating on important tasks, feeling overwhelmed by distractions in daily life. What barriers might customers face in achieving this goal? Lack of time to practice focus-enhancing techniques, inability to identify effective strategies, difficulty in staying consistent to daily habits. The second job is enhance memory retention and recall. What triggers the need for enhanced memory retention and recall? Forgetting important information frequently, struggling to remember names, dates, and details, difficulty in recalling learned material in high-pressure situations, just like this one, being live. What barriers might customers face in achieving this goal? Lack of understanding about memory processes, difficulty finding proven memory-enhancing techniques, limited motivation to practice and apply memory strategies. Job number 3, optimize learning and skill acquisition. What triggers the need for optimizing learning and skill acquisition? The desire for personal and professional development. Need to learn new skills for career advancement. Interest in acquiring knowledge in various fields. What barriers might customers face to achieving this goal? Limited time for learning and practicing new skills. Ineffective learning strategies. Difficulty maintaining motivation and commitment. Job number 4, support cognitive health and combat cognitive decline. What triggers the need for supporting cognitive health and combating cognitive decline? Experiencing early signs of cognitive decline? Do you have concerns over age-related cognitive issues? Do you have a desire to maintain a sharp mind throughout your life? What barriers might customers face in achieving this goal? Maybe the lack of reliable information on cognitive health practices. Perhaps difficulty in implementing lifestyle changes to support cognitive health. Maybe even limited access to resources or tools for cognitive maintenance. Job number 5, develop a lifelong habit of continuous learning and cognitive improvement. What triggers the need for developing a lifelong habit of continuous learning and cognitive improvement? Aspiration for self-improvement and personal growth. A desire to stay relevant in a fast-changing world. Interest in maintaining mental agility and adaptability. What barriers might customers face in achieving this goal? Struggling to maintain motivation and discipline for lifelong learning. Limited access to diverse learning techniques. Difficulty balancing learning with other life priorities. Here are some of the insights for customer behavior and solutions. Customers value expert guidance and a structured approach to cognitive improvement. I provide clear evidence-based strategies and techniques. We offer a step-by-step approach to mastering cognitive skills. People need ongoing support and motivation to stay committed to cognitive improvement. We build a supportive community for customers to share experiences and progress. We offer ongoing resources and tools to help customers stay engaged and motivated. Customers want cognitive improvement techniques that can be easily integrated into daily life. Design techniques and practices that are flexible and adaptable to individual schedules and routines. And provide accessible resources such as mobile apps and digital tools to facilitate practice and habit formation. So why are people at the moment already interested and already putting money towards these techniques? Well, people are appreciating that resources are offering actionable tips and techniques for improving focus, memory, and learning. I found that people enjoy a step-by-step guide and exercises that can easily be implemented in their daily lives. If you like a style that's more appealing when it's written in an engaging and spoken in an engaging, easy to understand manner, then this is the place for you. And of course, I like the use of storytelling, analogies, and real-life examples making complex concepts more relatable and digestible. One of the biggest things that I've noticed is important to me, and I hope that that resonates with you as well, is that you value resources that are grounded in scientific research and evidence. I appreciate, and I hope you appreciate, the credibility and reliability of the information provided. The people that join our group are drawn to resources that promise personal growth, self-improvement, and increased productivity. You seek solutions that would make a positive impact on your life, both personally and professionally. I'm going to say something about the other offerings out there that don't give you what you want. And I'm not highlighting anybody in particular, but I feel that there are some resources out there. I feel that there are some resources out there that perhaps lack depth or originality. There are some resources that really only provide surface level information and rehash common knowledge. I like to take you down a path that gives you in-depth knowledge and a 90-day program where you have a step-by-step, action-by-action system that's like a SMART goal: measurable, actionable, timely. If there's a resource out there that doesn't offer unique insights and innovative approaches, it's not as likely to get your attention. So again, I'm aiming to do something that is the exact opposite, that has unique insights, interviews unique people that have experience in the field, and have innovative approaches to success. I know that from my research, there is less take-up if the techniques or strategies are too complex or time-consuming to implement. And you might prefer a solution that can be easily integrated into daily routines. I know I do. If you find a resource, but the reported results are inconsistent, that's less likely to draw your attention. You're less likely to recommend resources that don't deliver consistent improvements in focus, memory, or learning. So I'm aiming at the exact opposite. I'm aiming to create a resource that has consistent improvements of focus, memory, and learning. And you'll probably know a lot of resources that do this, but you probably, like me, are going to be extremely skeptical of books that made grandiose claims, or functions or seminars that promise miraculous results. You're even less likely to be engaged with something that's exaggerated in the marketing or just seems overly hyped. So I'm just going to keep it really simple and step by step, with the answers that you can measure at the end, but don't seem over the top to start off with. Because reality is, you live in a reality, and you know what you are like in 2022, what you'd like to be like in the future, and how to transition from past to present to future. And you know that better than anybody else. So something that's overhyped isn't going to work on you, but something where you feel you can take steps and measure the results would probably sit a lot better. I know it sits a lot better with me. Margaret Lilburne, thank you so much for coming on board. I'd love to hear some of your background, what you've done, and also your insights into payroll management and why it's so important. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Amir. I'm really honoured to be here. So my name is Margaret Lilburne and I'm from Payroll Wizards, and I've had a lot of payroll experience over the last 20 years or so. And I would like to share with you this afternoon or this evening my tips on being payroll compliant in Australia. This is Australia specific. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen with you now. Share my screen with you now. Just wait for it to come up. Here we go. Share. Right. So, it's the Australian Guide to Payroll Compliance. This is all you need to know about payroll legislation and compliance in Australia. Compliance is one of the top challenges facing any payroll and HR department. It's mandatory to ensure that all personnel business practices follow current laws, and you are keeping proper records to provide an audit trail to demonstrate your company's compliance. Errors in record keeping and compliance can result in punitive penalties, even lawsuits. No business wants to expose itself to such risks that will endanger both their financial and reputational standing. Keeping up to date with payroll legislation can be a complex undertaking. The statistics are that as many as 1 in 3 small businesses are penalised for incorrect payroll, and not even small businesses either. I mean, there's some very high profile clients that have actually been in the news for not being compliant. So in order to protect your company from costly fines and even litigation, there's a fundamental requirement to stay informed about employment laws, reporting rules, and the ever-changing workforce compliance issues. So I have compiled what I found to be 8 pillars of payroll compliance. Number 1 is record-keeping requirements. Many business owners do not realise you must keep time and attendance and pay records of employees for a minimum of 7 years. If your business is subject to an audit, these records must be readily accessible to a Fair Work inspector, legible and in English. This is very important. This includes payslips, employment agreements, rosters, and timesheets. If a business is found not to have kept accurate records, significant penalties may be imposed. Audit practices. There are 2 types: internal compliance. It relates to rules put in place by your business to improve efficiency and reduce liability. Some of these can include tightening of internal rules and standards, the handling of payments more securely, reviewing data security practices regularly. Are you meeting the privacy laws and protecting employee and payroll data? Document your processes. This reduces the risk associated with critical knowledge being held by only a few core staff when you have your payroll person move on. External compliance relates to regulations put in place by the government or a board in your operating industry, such as audit trails, which are mandated by investors or creditors. Audit trails are a useful tool to protect your business and your reputation in the event of investigation. Ensuring statutory reports are filed accurately and on time. It's just not worth the risk of penalties for late submissions. Payroll requires several important considerations such as tax deadlines, shifting paydays, and quarterly reporting. It's a good practice to create a yearly calendar that outlines all of the important dates. Keeping up to date with payroll legislation. As any payroll professional knows, the payroll legislation is constantly changing. It's such a moving feast. When you manage your payroll, it's important to keep abreast of the ever-changing government mandates regarding payroll. It's important to keep an eye on the ATO website for any updates. Keeping up to date with national employment standards. Regardless of modern awards, employment bargaining agreement or employment contract, the NES, National Employment Standards, applies to all employees in the national workplace relations systems. Therefore, all businesses in Australia must ensure that their payroll compliance follows the NES as a minimum standard. There are currently a set of 11 minimum employment entitlements, and these are maximum weekly hours of work, which is number 1. Number 2, request for flexible working arrangements. Number 3, offers and requests to convert from casual to permanent employment. This has actually proven to be quite a minefield in recent time, and it becomes very important for employers to know what is a casual employee's regular hours, because the courts may actually view it as actually being just about permanent. Parental leave and related entitlements. Now, this is actually just the company parental leave, not the government paid parental leave. Annual leave, which is usually 4 weeks. Personal carers leave, which are actually interchangeable these days. Compassionate leave, and family and domestic violence leave. Community service leave, long service leave, public holidays. The myriad of laws around termination and redundancy pay, what constitutes a bona fide redundancy, how much in lieu of notice is paid, Fair Work Information Statement, which is FWIS, and the Casual Employment Information Statement, the CEIS. This is actually mandatory that all casual employees receive this. And I've also got the website for that. Now, that's number 4 in my pillars. So continuing, number 5 is modern awards and agreements. Now, a lot of people may not actually realise that these modern awards and agreements, they're actually on top of your national employment standards, and the industry or occupational specific documents that set out minimum entitlements, which as I said, on top of the NES. So they cover minimum entitlements around base rates of pay, hours of work, rostering, mandatory breaks, allowances, penalty and overtime rates. If your business falls within a specific modern award, you must ensure that your payroll compliance meets both the NES and the relevant modern award. As many businesses struggle with interpreting modern awards, this remains a major compliance issue for many business owners. That's why there is so much emphasis these days on award interpretation. Super compliance, super stream. If you do payroll or have done payroll like I've done, anybody would know that superannuation is a minefield. So the government's trying to fix this issue with super stream, and this is the way that businesses must pay employees superannuation guarantee contributions to super funds. With SuperStream, money and data are transmitted electronically and consistently across the super system. This is between employers, funds, service provider, and the ATO. The data is linked to the payment by a unique payment reference number. This means employers can make all their contributions in a single transaction, even if they're going to multiple super funds. Contributions and rollovers can be processed faster and more efficiently with fewer errors. People can be more reliably linked to their super, hopefully, reducing lost accounts and unclaimed monies. All employers should be by now SuperStream compliant. Payroll tax compliance. This is number 7. It's a self-assessed state and territory level tax. I remember when I first started doing payroll, there were so many exemptions. Now it's basically you actually use all the data from the payroll, and there's only 1 or 2 exceptions. If you're running a business in multiple states, then you will need to ensure you register for payroll tax if your total Australian wages exceed a particular monthly threshold, according to the payroll tax laws in a specific state. The state and territory revenue officers conduct ongoing audits and investigations to ensure that payroll tax compliance is being met. There are many, many employers that fail to meet this every year due to either failing to realise they need to register for payroll tax or knowingly neglect to register despite knowing they need to register. Beyond this, there are many businesses fail to take into account the group wages that will put them over the threshold or incorrectly classify employees as contractors. Another primary culprit is the fact that a lot of employers fail to declare fringe benefits and employee share schemes. A bit of a minefield. For those who would like to know the current rates for payroll tax. It's effective on the 1st of July. I actually won't read those out, but you can see those on the screen. And now this brings us to the government's idea to make all of this a lot easier. So we have single touch payroll phase 2. This is a continuation of the move towards complete digital records and reporting. The idea is that we're going to make it easier for everyone. It is not a new build, it's a remapping exercise. The ATO wants to ensure that your employees are being paid the correct entitlements and keeping business owners honest. This means that super funds are also reporting information to them to ensure all information is accurate and up to date. Now, there are benefits for payroll, there are benefits for the employee, and there are benefits for the employer. So I've actually gone through each one. Benefits for payroll: structured and simplified reporting by employers to the ATO, except for the fact you have to set everything up. Standardization of payroll components into groupings for simpler reporting. Implementation of payrolls and end-of-year housekeeping by employers. Realignment of income and data fields for simpler reporting. That to me sounds like a benefit to the accountants. Phase 2 isn't a new build. As I said, it's a remapping exercise. There's clearer and cleaner data to remove misunderstanding around the use of ID and payroll IDs, which has resulted in duplicate records. Benefits for employees: all your information will be in one place. Guess where? MyGov. Less paperwork and more complete digital records. It'll be easier to understand how you're getting paid and how it's defined by income type. Theoretically, this breakdown will make it easier to identify payment types for tax reporting purposes, making tax time easier and understandable. I'm sure it will be. It's all there, and your tax accountancy, for the accountants, can categorize your payments made to you as per ATO standards. Benefits for employer: alignment of your payroll components into specific groups to simplify the payment system to employees. Simplified admin. No more employee letters to explain payments in arrears. No more manual reporting of child support payments, and no more lodging of employee TFN declaration. Well, I can actually cheer about that one. Now, this is the end of my 5-page ebook. If anybody's interested in getting a copy of this, please actually let me know. But Amir, do you have any questions you'd like to ask?
Yeah, for sure. So if you wanted to stop sharing screen, what I'll do is I'll ask you a few questions on this, Margaret.
Certainly.
The first one is, when did this roll out? So that when you're looking at the phase 2,
Yes.
if I'm finding a company that Bookkeep Hive is doing the tax for, if we're doing this year's tax, are all the companies now on phase 2, or is this like a let's see who wants to take it up type thing?
All businesses are actually mandatory to actually be on this system as at the 31st of March 23. So the deadline has passed, and there may be a few stragglers, but no, it's not. 31st of March is the date which everyone needs to be compliant.
So that means that if we're doing
this
financial year, then some would and some wouldn't. But going forwards, from the 1st of July 2023 onwards, everybody would be on it.
Yes. Looking like that, yes. I was just
so that's
giving
great
you
news for people.
Yeah.
It's great news for people that are doing taxes and bookkeeping starting from 1st of July onwards. And obviously there's a mixed bag of depending on how large a company you're dealing with. So the question there, and you touched on this, you said with group pay, you mentioned that there's thresholds of monthly payments before somebody has to be qualified to do the payroll tax. And the third thing you said was BMS. Did you want to explain the acronym of BMS?
BMS.
You said to avoid duplicating between paying BMS and employer ID. You have two different types of ID, and some people in the past would get mixed up between the two. What does BMS stand for?
So actually, I think the easiest way for me to do this is to actually, yeah, absolutely. Let me just, yeah. So let me just do that. Right. So your STP, okay, so your payroll solution will generate STP report for your pay cycle, ABN branch and BMS ID. I'm actually looking BMS business. Business management system. BMS is a business management system. I was looking for something a little bit more payroll defined, but it's actually a business management system. This must be, it's an ATO initiative. So the ATO and the Go actually have this ID number, and your payroll system has a different ID number. So we actually got to actually have that matched, because there's a lot. It's actually like a unique identifier. It's a unique identifier.
And you'd probably match them by correlating the tax file numbers to make sure that one tax file number goes to one BMS, and if that tax file number also goes to an employer ID, you're cross-matching them to make sure you're not doubling up.
Yes, but also, the tax file numbers are also are actually automatically matched, depending on your date of birth. It's actually only one of the things that we match, because there's also name, address. Just because actually doing payroll, there's been there are so many duplicate employee IDs.
So really, the tax file number is the moment of truth.
Solve the problem.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yes.
And if I can ask you about the threshold, what is the New South Wales payroll tax threshold, please?
It's okay.
Per month.
Per month. I actually, yeah, okay. I actually did not get for those in my slide, did I? I actually don't want to give you the wrong information. So from the 1st of July 21 to 30th of June 2022, it's actually 1.2 million.
Wow.
1.2 million.
Okay, and
that's
from
the monthly threshold.
In the current financial year?
We're actually going from the 1st of July last year. This is
1st July 22 until the 30th of June 23.
Hang on a sec. 2023. It's still 1.2 million, hasn't changed.
Wonderful. Okay, so for a company that's paying wages of $12 million a year, that's relevant. But if it's less than that and you're not doing 1.2 million wages in a month, then it's not relevant yet.
Yeah, yes, depending on actually which other entities, which other states that you have.
Makes sense.
Well,
makes sense.
Yeah.
So, do they accrue across all different states, and the threshold is the added up amount of all the states together, making the 1.2, or is that just New South Wales?
You've actually got what's actually called like a designated group employer, right? You basically nominate the state that has the highest earnings. and then you have and then you effectively make it the benchmark, because it actually may not be New South Wales, it might be Queensland, might be Victoria, and then all the rest are actually then calculated based on that.
Wonderful. So for more details, obviously people need to speak to you and make sure that things are up to date with the right amount.
Exactly. And I'll be very happy to actually have another webinar on payroll tax. It is a very complicated situation, and we're hoping the government's going to sort it out with their single touch payroll initiative, because each state varies.
I understand. Margaret, thank you so much for your time. This has been really enlightening. I know that a few of the things that I didn't know was how many years you had to keep all the payroll data, because you keep records.
7 years.
But you know, there's a difference between taxation records and keeping timesheets. So no, I appreciate that.
No problem at all.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
And I hope that you can come back again once we've got a few more pointed questions that I'm sure that the watchers are going to put down in the chat. And then once we get a few questions, we'll pick your brains and ask you the type of questions you don't mind answering free of charge before you start charging fees for your answers.
Sure, that'd be great. Yeah.
Wonderful. Margaret, thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. Okay.